Terrence Andre Banks with Information Age Financial Solutions, coming to you again talking about unfunded liabilities, pension problems, and the like. I read an article from freebeacon.com, and the title alone stuck out to me, and it's definitely, as I've done in previous videos, explaining the pension problem, because I believe in our lifetime it's one of the largest problems we're going to have. Actually, I think it stays at the forefront of all problems that's going to occur, and potential issues between different demographics, especially with the baby boomers, millennials, as the millennials have now moved inside the United States to be the largest demographics coming forward. They're not going to be too happy when that population tries to vote laws in to keep what they have. And the reason why I focus so much attention, as I said in previous videos about pensions, is because I believe the largest nose of our population is the baby boomers, and they control most of the middle class. But let's go to the title itself and really dive into this article. Unfunded liabilities of state public pensions top $6 trillion in 2017. Cost of unfunded pensions totals an average of $18,676 per person in the United States. The numbers just keeps increasing and keeps becoming astronomical, and they're really not paying. No administration really wants to really tackle into this. They're hoping that somehow you can outgrow this particular problem, but that's not a possibility in a finite world, and we're going to get a correction. I believe that 2018 will be the beginning of that catalyst and that going forward. So let me begin by reading some of this. Unfunded liabilities of state public pension now top $6 trillion, an increase of $433 billion from the previous year, according to a report from the American Legislative Exchange Council. And the state and public pensions are where people want to be at in terms of jobs. Everybody, as long as you can know, most millennials even want to be in those kind of state public jobs. But as we know, the numbers keep increasing, $433 billion from last year. And it's just becoming even more. Unfunded liabilities of public pension plans continue to loom over state governments nationwide, the report states. Absent significant reforms, unfunded liabilities of state-administered pension plans will continue to grow and threaten the financial security of state retirees and taxpayers alike. I'm glad they mentioned taxpayers, because it's taxes that continue to keeping some of this ball going until they start printing, which then has a currency crisis. But I don't want to digress. Taxpayers are impacted by this pension crisis since they are the ones funding the wages of government employees. The report notes, however, that all residents are impacted because the funds that go to pensions take away from resources from government services such as public safety, education, and roads. And that's coming to our infrastructure problem here. And I'm glad they're pointing out to these different things that, again, people don't really pay attention to with the pensions. The report finds that state pension liabilities average about $18,676 for every American in the United States. In some states, the liabilities average is much higher. For example, in Alaska, each resident is responsible for $45,689 in pension liability. This is the highest cost in the nation. I tell you, it continues being a wonder how we can glass over this and not really pay and give it the attention that it deserves. But again, I understand in some aspects that we don't want a panic to go on, but without really tackling this, the problems continue to get worse. And we're adults here. We need to really be mindful of the problems that we're going to face. Along with Alaska, the state of Illinois, Connecticut, New Mexico, and Ohio rank as the worst in the nation of unfunded pension liabilities per person. When looking at unfunded liabilities as a whole, the states of California, New York, Illinois, Ohio, and Texas rank at the worst 5 states in the nation. I'm trying to scroll down a little bit here. Got a lot of advertising on this particular website, so just take a little bit longer to get down to the nitty and gritty of this. Some states such as Utah, Arizona, Alaska, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Michigan have made attempts to solve their liability crisis by implementing reforms. For example, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey implemented reforms focusing on cost of living adjustments. The reform is expected to save taxpayers $1.5 billion over the next 3 decades. Over 30 years, even though he believes that's going to help, it doesn't. That's 30 years from now. Pennsylvania also made reforms such as creating a defined contribution component for every school district and state employee, giving employees more retirement options such as 401k style plan. 401k is attached to the stock market. And again, The stock market has continually going up since this crisis, since the crisis of 2007, 2008. And regardless of what you think, no market continue going up forever. Absent fundamental reform, broken pension systems threaten the financial stability of state budgets and the financial future of public servants, said Jonathan Williams, chief economist at ALEC. Taxpayers, workers, and retirees will share in the burden unless policymakers make significant changes. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Policymakers need to make significant changes. The report says that lawmakers and officials should be held responsible, and one way to do this is by ensuring that all financial information be made transparent to the public online in an accessible format. I don't even believe that will make a difference, but it is a start. Transparency enables voters, taxpayers, and all stakeholders to access research and understand the operation of the government and hold lawmakers and officials accountable for their actions. The report states, for more than a decade, ALEC has called on state and local governments to put their budgets online in an accessible format to all taxpayers to see. We live in a day of information. My whole channel is based on information and information age and how to do financially. And even with the information available, that still sometimes does not get people to make changes. Fortunately, slaughter usually does that, or making some kind of, and I mean in this case financial slaughter, or some kind of major impact where a huge correction goes on. You don't have to be a victim of that. Keep abreast of what's going on in the economy. If you got family members who are receiving pensions, be mindful of that, because we're all going to have to rely more on each other as time goes on, and look for other ways of bringing on income. Until my next video, I'm out.